Should I rent a car or an ATV in Santorini? That's a question I get all the time. And what about buggies and mopeds? Well, in order to make up your mind on what works best for you, I'm going to give you all the pros and cons for each. Let's start with the car. The big pro of a car is safety. You know how to drive a car, so you won't lose control of the vehicle that easily. Plus, you're protected in case of an accident, because yeah, minor accidents do happen quite often in Santorini, and a minor accident by car doesn't have any consequences really, as long as you get the full insurance coverage, which I highly recommend. But a minor accident, if you're riding an ATV or a moped, that can immediately lead to broken bones or even worse. So yeah, the big pro of the car is safety. On the con side, we have parking, which is not as easy as with an ATV or a moped. But at the end of this video, I will link another one with everything you need to know when driving in Santorini, and there's a few handy tips regarding parking. All right, next we have ATVs, also known as quad bikes. On the pro side, well, it's definitely more fun and adventurous, you know, riding your ATV with the wind in your hair and your partner behind you holding on to you, taking all sorts of selfies. And the other pro, well, parking is a bit easier, as I just said. It's definitely not as easy as with the moped, but for sure it's a bit better than the car. But, before you get over enthused with ATVs, you should listen to my list of cons. First of all, safety. Guys, it's really heartbreaking, but every year we have tourists dying in road accidents in Santorini, and 9 times out of 10, what vehicle was it? An ATV. Very often it's because people lose control over the ATV and either they go straight into a wall, fall off a cliff, or end up on the other lane with oncoming traffic. Because yeah, the other con of ATVs is that they're very tricky to maneuver. These tires are designed to be used on off-road trails. So when you ride it on nice and smooth asphalt, you're gonna slide around non-stop because that's not what an ATV is made for. And if you add to that many ATVs are pretty old and have probably gone through a few accidents already, bending some bits and whatnot, well, it's not surprising that every so often someone loses control at the wrong place, wrong time, and pays the heaviest price for it. Another con of ATVs so many people don't think of is the sun. An ATV has no roof, so you're there riding, taking all the sun to your face and body, and even though the sea breeze will keep you cool, you'll still feel the massive consequence of being in the sun all day. You're gonna be so smashed and probably have a nasty headache as well. And if you were considering to rent an ATV with the idea that you would be able to ride some off-road trails that rental cars can't reach, well, I'm sorry to tell you that there are hardly any. Even places like the heart of Santorini, despite it not being paved, the dirt road is still decent enough for cars to drive it. So yeah, ATVs are not really bringing much in terms of additional discovery of the island. There are a few dirt paths here and there for ATVs, but 95% of the roads you will ride are paved. So I don't see why you would go for an ATV then. And on top of all of that, ATVs aren't even cheaper than cars. They're the same price. If only they were like half the price, maybe I would tell you they're worth considering if you're on a budget, but at the same price, like why would you do it? All right, what about buggies now? Those are much safer because you have a whole structure around you, plus you're protected from the sun, but you still have the adventurous feeling because there are no windows, sometimes even no windshield, so it's more fun than a car. But they're not that popular amongst tourists because they are very expensive, sometimes double the price of a car, which makes a big difference, especially if you're gonna rent it for a few days. And finally, we have mopeds, or scooters, if that's how you call them. Mopeds have 2 huge pros. 1, the price. It's like 2 or 3 times cheaper than a car. And 2, parking. You can park literally anywhere on the island. It's so easy. But please only rent a moped if you're an experienced rider. Santorini is not a place you want to be refreshing your memories on how to ride a 2-wheeler, considering the hectic traffic and the winding cliffside roads. Oh, and if you're gonna rent a moped, keep in mind you need a motorcycle license. A regular car driver's license won't work. And regarding helmets, just for you to know, many local Greeks ride their motorcycles without a helmet on. And even though it's technically illegal, police aren't enforcing it at all. So you can ride your scooter or your ATV without a helmet. You won't get fined. But of course, in case of an accident, I wouldn't want to be you. All right, over here, a video on the best car rental companies that I recommend in Santorini. And then for all sorts of tips and tricks regarding driving and parking in Santorini, is this one. And there you go. That's it for today. Hope you liked it. See you in the next one. Bye.